Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
right, 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. It's time for In the Garden with Carol Ann. Carol Ann Baldwin is in the studio right now on the second to the last day of the year and the last Tuesday and the last show for Carol Ann for this year. And where are you?
I'm right here.
There you are. Go on, Carol Ann. How you doing?
I'm good, Larry. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know if I told you this since you started using that song, but it always gives me a flashback. I remember that song clearly when I was a kid, and it always sends me back.
Sends you back, so it puts you in a different state of mind or something?
You know where it puts me, what I remember specifically?
What's that?
The coffee table in the living room when I was a kid. Because I used to bang on it trying to imitate that drum part.
Oh. Okay.
I used to drum on the coffee table.
I think every kid drummed on the coffee table. Coffee table, kitchen table, anything that drove our parents crazy.
I remember having that song on a cassette or something, and it would be playing, and I would be drumming along on the coffee table with my hands.
Yeah, of course.
No drumsticks.
No drumsticks. No, parents don't give kids drumsticks most of the time. Not unless parents are into percussion themselves.
So how is everything in your world?
Oh, it's all going. It's all going.
Year's almost over? Was it a good one? Was it a good year for you?
Pretty much so. Yeah, I think, there's always ups and downs in every year.
That's true. That's true.
Gonna hope it starts on a good one and keeps going and
have a positive attitude.
That's all you can do. Is when things start going wrong, is put yourself into a better state of mind and keep going.
I have a direct plant question for you. A direct one. Direct. Should I cut down my banana plant and let it start all over again? It's
not yet.
Really hideously ugly.
Yeah, just let it be. Let it be. It is only January. We have January and February ugly is our usual two really bad weather months. That's when winter hits Central Florida, is at those times. And if you cut it back now and it starts to unfurl that nice little leaf that it usually does, and then it freezes, it's all the way down. And so it's best to wait, like I said, and you leave the ugly leaves hanging down. And I see people who go through and cut those off, and then the tree looks kind of funny.
It's a weird thing.
I mean, when they hang in down, it's funny because in part of our yard or on property near us, there's banana trees, and they're not hit. They have not gotten scorched yet. And it's just because the amount of other trees around. Everybody has a microclimate, because I hear people go, well, my such and such hasn't been killed yet. Well, yeah.
Well, mine isn't completely destroyed, but it's just
ugly right now.
It's so large and doing nothing, just kind of hovering.
Yeah, it's just going to sit there.
There are two babies like 3 or 4 feet tall.
Right.
I could leave them.
And leave those, and actually that big one may be protecting those. A little bit, because you figure that the leaves of that, if they're sort of hanging down or whatever, they're down. They're coming down a little lower than what. And
I'm trying to decide what to do about that elephant ear that started growing. I mean, I kind of liked it last year, but it got out of control too.
But you can
lots of elephant ears started showing up.
Yeah,
my lawnmower was the solution.
Mowing, that's usually how people control those kind of things when they come up. Trying to find them and dig them up. I mean, you could dig up, say, the small ones when they come into the yard if you want if you like
Well,
that
I like
one that's
them,
out,
but,
out
yeah.
further. But like you said, out in the middle of the yard, it's either you're mowing those over, using some type of an herbicide, and even that on those, because they have a very large tuberous root zone, they get a little tough to kill. So.
And real quickly before we go to the
Sure.
phone, I must tell you that I'm not able. We've got a new video thing going,
Oh, okay.
so I usually zoom in on you.
Right.
But you're kind
So
of
you can't zoom.
You're not zoomed in on right now. But
That's
your,
all
but
right.
your fans
Then if I make faces, it doesn't show up as
still
easy.
hear you. Yeah, they can still hear you and see you. All right, let's go to the phone. Good morning.
Great.
Thank you for waiting and for calling. You're on the air now with Carol Ann.
Okay, good morning, Carol Ann.
Morning.
Mary.
Hey.
This is Mr. Hugh calling. I want to thank you for all the programming in the past. It's been a wonderful help. You go to these garden centers and the people are always nice and everything else, but they're not really knowledgeable as far as questions that you can answer on your program. So it's your program's been a godsend. Thank you very much for it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, that's.
I was, so far now, this late fall and early winter, to me, it's been very good. It hasn't been super cold.
No.
And we've had plenty of rain. We had another half an inch of rain last night, and we're doing real good. In fact, the lawn is reclaiming itself and turning green. And I don't know, we don't get a cold snap, I might have to start cutting my lawn pretty soon.
You may need to do one of those, I always call it just dress up, where the blades are real high and just sort of taking off any of those winter weeds that are trying to come up through. Yeah, that happens. And like I say, this is just about, the 1st of January, and our worst part of the winters are usually that January, February.
Yeah.
I usually call February ugly most of the time, because it's usually cold, nasty, wet. It might be a 28-day month, but it sure, it has a tendency to be the worst one out of all of them.
Yeah, I know on the Weather Channel, watching it here a couple of weeks back, they gave the January, February, March 3-month outlook, and down here in the southeast, we're going to be below normal, but wetter than normal. So that don't sound too bad to me.
Right, and I'm not sure. I haven't really looked too much at any long range forecasting. The wet is always good. It's always, it may cause a few issues in the landscape, but at least we begin to eliminate or lessen that fire hazard,
Right.
For the National Forest and things like that, and other locations within the state. Now, Central Florida is about the only one I really notice, much of, but, with the colder temperatures, it seems like we've had a little bit, but if they go down and they're that short, usually they're short term, they last 2 to 4 days, and it's warming back up. I said, with my luck this year, we will be done with the cold weather, because I bought I got a big, good warm coat. And now it won't drop below 50 degrees to where I really need to wear it. Now, I did wear it one morning just to say I wore it.
Yeah.
But it probably now will not get cold enough to really need it, and I'll be putting it away unused. But I can only hope.
With all the moisture we've been having, which is I love it, it's caused me. I've got a big problem where I cut a large tree down in my front yard, and where ground out the roots and all, I'm getting those stinky pink mushrooms.
Oh.
And I got a ton of them, and you don't even want to get near them. Is there anything I can throw on that to retard them or kill them?
No, they're just that's the one of the stinkhorn mushrooms, and they do and of course, if you let them just sit there and rot away, they're just reproducing themselves. So you almost have to really take a deep breath in the house, or hold your moisten a cloth maybe with something that smells fresher to put it nicely. Put some gloves on, get a plastic bag, and get those picked up and disposed of, because they are.
That shampoo
horrible.
you're using smells pretty good. You should use that.
Use my shampoo that I use this morning.
Something smells good in here.
Maybe I can get my wife to go out and do it, and we'll see once.
Yeah, I don't see that happening too much. You might be able to use like a like a grabber, so you don't need to get all the way down there. But I think if you can hold your breath, have a bag there, some plastic gloves on, throw them in, and tie them up, and just pretend you have an animal that you're cleaning a litter box. Yeah.
What is causing that? The decay from the tree?
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, it's because that's what the fungi grow on is organic material that's under there. When people have fairy ring out in the yard, that's the white mushrooms that seem to show up in a circular pattern or somewhat circular, or you'll even just see a dark green circle within a yard. There's organic material under there that they're thriving on.
Right.
And with that stump being all ground out.
Yeah, thank you very much for your program this year, and I'm looking forward to next year.
Great.
And I really appreciate you guys, and it's one of my favorite programs on WOCA. And I know I call a lot, but you've been so helpful. I don't know what I've done without your programming. So you thank you very much, and you have a great New Year's.
Thank you. You too. He's gonna make it hard for me to get out the door there.
Nice.
Gee, wow. A great big picture window here. I'm gonna fill the whole thing up with my head here.
All right, we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. Your calls are important, and the number is 622-9622. Carol Ann Baldwin here live today, which is always the case. And today's Tuesday, December 30th, 2014. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Periods of clouds and sun today with a shower and thunderstorm or two in the area, mainly this afternoon. The highs in the 70s to near 80. Mostly cloudy tonight with a passing shower, lows in the upper 50s to mid 60s. For tomorrow, clouds and limited sun, highs ranging from the upper 60s to the mid 70s. And for Thursday, New Year's Day, pleasant with clouds and sun and a high in the 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Do you need a quick energy boost? Massage your ears. It can reduce fatigue for 81% of women. Just because you're out of work doesn't mean you shouldn't have business cards. Don't make that mistake. What should you put on it if you're unemployed? Use your last job title. As smart as they are, lefties are more likely to have minor accidents since things like knives, tools, and machines are typically designed for righties.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, I'm Gary.
And I'm Eric.
Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
All right, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. This is In the Garden with Carol Ann. And if you have a garden and you need some advice about how to make it a little better, or maybe you've got a New Year's resolution, any and all of the above. Even if you have no question, you just want to chat with Carol Ann. The number is the same, 622-9622.
And this is, and we go through this, frequently at this time of year of planning forward to your next spring's garden. Now, if you're vegetable gardening now, you can still put in some carrots. We're getting ready to put in the Irish potatoes, the white potatoes or red skin potatoes. For us, we grow them usually starting January, February, getting them in the ground before the middle of March, because they're going to take anywhere 90 to 110, 120 days before you'll get a harvest. But we grow ours in the winter months. They're not a keeping potato as, say, the Idaho potatoes or those kind of things. And it's because of our growing conditions, but they are some of the best potatoes that when you've got some fresh potatoes and fresh green beans up out of the garden and harvest an onion and you've got a ham bone or something like that, there's a meal that 3/4 of it came out of your garden. You got a nice little picture of it.
I know.
Neat little garden cart. Those things are cool.
Somebody had written me. We were talking about gifts for the gardeners,
right?
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we didn't mention this one. This is $149
garden cart.
It's a seat.
It's a seat,
and it's got wheels like tractor wheels, and so you don't got to kneel or sit on the ground,
right?
Or
they just, and it's got a little tray underneath there.
Yeah.
It's got little pneumatic
That's
wheels
a cool
on
idea.
them. The tires are pretty decent size, so they shouldn't be sinking in the garden. But they'll also go over your mulch.
The whole idea is to have a place to sit,
have a place
like a
to
tractor
sit to
type
reach.
seat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So looks comfy.
$149. Have you ever seen that before?
I have seen similar ones,
yeah.
and I actually built one that I call a Flintstone mobile.
Oh, really?
It's made of wood, and instead of it having 4 wheels, it has 2 large rollers, almost like a steamroller.
Oh, really?
Oh,
really?
Because again, it only runs.
And you built it?
And yeah.
What are the rollers made out of?
Wood.
Oh.
Just took a piece of exterior grade plywood, I think I used, and cut strips, and had the hubs are just round pieces, wooden dowel through the center for the axle, and then the outer part is just a 3-sided box.
So I like the. I never thought of it. When I worked at the assisted living facility, we had ladies who wanted to garden.
Right.
They couldn't get down to the ground, and so the solution, the idea was to
raise the garden up.
Was to have, what do you call them, box gardens?
Yes.
So I could literally put them on the table and then move them off to the window when they were done.
When they
were not that heavy, in other words. They were a little heavy.
Well, I mean,
they required 2 people.
You're not a little guy either, so it's for somebody to say it's not heavy. But no, there's a few different types of things that you can use to be able to get up and down in the garden if your garden's not raised, or even if it's raised a little bit. There's some of the garden kneelers that it's a metal frame with a double-sided cushion. One, you can put it to where those handles or legs are facing up, and you can get down and kneel on there, do your work, use those handles to help yourself get up. Or you turn it over, and those handles are now legs, and you have a seat to where you can sit and do your other stuff. Yeah. And those fold up and to fit in the shed or the garage real nice and easy. There's other ones that sort of rock. Those ones kind of freak me out because they're, I always figure I'm going to lean just a little too far and that seat's going to disappear.
I'm not making a blanket statement here, but I'm guessing most people who probably start gardening probably start later in life. I mean, I know there are kids who do.
Well, but no, I would think a lot of times.
Not you. I mean, you've been doing it all your life.
A lot of times do it with their children. That that's something to bring some the stuff into the house.
But I guess my point is that if you've all your life, you're 50 or 60 years old, and all of a sudden you say, I've always wanted to garden. I think I'm going to start gardening now.
Now that I'm retired, I can. Right. It could be that they're putting more time in. They may have put a lot of time in before they were 25, and then got just so busy with family and life and the rest of it, and sort of stayed away for a few years and came back, and you're going, wow, I can't get down there.
Well, and that's my point. Yeah. I'm guessing that whether you did it before or not, if you're up in age, you might be having a little reluctance to do it if your body isn't cooperating.
Or to continue doing it. That's where raised gardens come in, not necessarily up off the ground, but where you build a framework around the bed, fill that bed with soil, and then you can plant in that, and you can go really as high as you want. If you're going to go real high, you're not necessarily going to want to fill that up. You'll put a bottom in it and be able to put your soil on top. But if you do a box that's say approximately 12 to 18 inches, that's pretty deep. Plenty of room for roots for most any crop, and you can then put a seat board on top all the way around, where you could actually, if you can get down there to that height, you can actually sit on the edge of it and reach in. Just make sure you don't build your beds any more than 4 feet. Probably most chiropractors would tell you 3 feet is plenty.
Yeah.
But gardeners are going to tell you 4 because you can get one more row in there.
By the way, the Master Gardeners have a Master Gardeners Hall of Fame, right?
I guess.
Yeah, they do, because every year they ask for nominations.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Master Gardener of the Year, I guess is.
Okay, the letter says Master Gardeners Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So do you know who it was this year, or did they not do that till the beginning of the year?
I don't know who it is. It'll probably be after the first of the year. So I don't know who last year. I don't remember who last year
Google
was.
it. Marion County. Oh, it's in the Spring Festival.
Okay.
The Local Agriculture Hall of Fame inducts 3. Oh, that was in 2008.
That's the Agriculture Hall of Fame.
So that was in April of 2008. So they must do it in the spring.
Right, and the Agriculture Hall of Fame is it's not the Master Gardeners. That's people in the agriculture industry through extension.
Okay.
Like different.
Well, let me just read this. Do you know who Frank? Oh my gosh.
I know they did.
Well, they were honored that a Master Gardener was chosen, though.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's two different things.
It was, yeah.
What a great honor it was to see Frank Smith inducted into the Marion County Agriculture Hall of Fame tonight. It was from the UF-IFAS Marion County Master Gardeners.
Oh.
Do you know who
maybe
that is?
He was their nomination.
Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Well, you should be in there.
That's
what I'm getting at.
Familiar.
You should be in there. We should put your name in there.
Oh, I've been on the sidelines so much lately.
Is there anybody who promotes the Master Gardeners more than you? No.
Those who are out there doing a lot of the talks and the promotions.
You're on a radio show.
Yeah, that's true.
You're doing it.
But I don't do public speaking.
Yes, you do. This is called public speaking.
I know. Everybody laughs at me that I say, oh, Lord, no, I hate public speaking. Speaking of public speaking, though, March is the Master Gardener Spring Festival, and I'm not looking at my calendar again. Turn on phone and go back, because I was looking at something else. That the Master Gardener Spring Festival is March one more page, there we go, 14th and 15th this year, and I didn't bring in stuff. I don't know. It's the last of the month.
Yeah, you start thinking about that.
I still have time.
In 2 days.
Right. I still have time to work on that. But the 14th and 15th, put that on your calendars. The Master Gardener Spring Festival. Again, it's. I believe this is the 21st year. Let's see. I've been there 16. I've been there. How many years? 20 years in 2016. So
wow.
Count back. So it's about I think the 21st Master Gardener Festival this year. There will be plenty of different speakers. I think there's some new topics in this year, and again, there's some that will run concurrently. I always got to make sure I get my consecutive. Concurrent is on top of each other. The ones in the auditorium as well as ones that are outside in the gardens. And so when you do see a flyer for it, you may need to get with a friend and come. It's always better to enjoy the festival with a friend anyway, because you can show each other and drag each other around and go, hey, you need to buy this. But and be able to see these speakers separately and come, if you need to see two of them, if this is making much sense, and then somebody can, you should have seen this, they talked about blah, 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 and you can share your information. You can actually learn twice as much in half the time.
So you could make a New Year's resolution to be more knowledgeable about the gardening.
There you go. Knowledgeable about gardening in Florida and Marion County.
Yeah.
Especially if you're from out of town and how to take care of your garden. There's Florida Gardening 101 coming up. I believe it's in February.
By the way, you know in the internet they say you go down a rabbit hole?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we were looking at this tractor seat.
Right.
Okay.
The garden
Well, it led me
seat.
to another item you could buy for $1,899. It is the Sunmar XL self-contained composting toilet.
Thanks, no.
Are you ready for this? It converts human waste into safe fertilizing soil.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Sorry, no.
We'll take a little break. I'll show you the picture when we do the break. We'll take a little break and we will be right back. Your calls are important. 622-9622.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu, the head of AirAsia, promising support for families affected by the plane presumed to have gone down in the Java Sea.
Even though the results haven't come out, we will be providing some financial assistance straight away.
CEO Tony Fernandez speaking to reporters.
At least 40 bodies reportedly found floating in the sea about 6 miles from where the plane lost contact. Indonesia's Navy also finding what seems to be an aircraft door. The sea is shallow there. Spotters aboard a plane report seeing a shadow on the seabed which might be the wreckage. It's dreadful news for the families. When relatives heard, they screamed and wept. Earlier today, they held Muslim and Christian prayer ceremonies for the 162 people missing.
Fox Radio's Alistair Wanklin. The Greek Navy heading toward a cargo ship after receiving a distress call from someone on board that ship, which is believed to be carrying hundreds of migrants near the area where a Greek passenger ferry caught fire. Fox News, we report, you decide.
How would you like to have customized professional business cards that give you the confidence you need for every new business opportunity without needing any design experience? With Vistaprint, you can. Because Vistaprint makes it so simple for business owners and business dreamers to get the customized tools they need to help their business thrive. And right now, you can get 500 high-quality professional business cards for just $9.99. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Go to Vistaprint.com today and enter promo code 3366 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 3366.
I'm Chris Walls. Since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. My knee pains went away. I've had some lower back issues, and I've noticed that went away. The radio ad, does it attacks belly fat? Well, let me tell you, it did. I've lost 6 inches.
So guys, if you'd like to get similar results, try Andro 400, the safe, inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your mobile Verizon rep. But not just here, I'll deliver the phone to you in your home. While I'm there, I'll only sell you what you need and I'll personalize it to you. Want to have me get you connected? Then call me at 352-528-0020. I even offer unlimited home phone service for just $20 per month. Just call me, your mobile Verizon rep, at 352-528-0020.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Your home is safe, or is it? AA Lock, Dock, and Security. The name has been a staple in Ocala since 1985. Do you have the right equipment in place to have peace of mind when you are at home or away? AA Lock, Dock, and Security has the right people to install and monitor your home or business. Call today for a free on-site security analysis. Call 867-1965. AA Lock, Dock, and Security, 219 Northwest 10th Street, 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire.
Because that's how exotic it is.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Cozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. The phone lines are open if you'd like to call Carol Ann Baldwin. The number is 622-9622. If you're out of the area code is 352. So 352-622-9622. Carol Ann Baldwin will talk to you about your gardens or answer your questions or just chat with you.
Whatever we got going. Going back to spring gardening and things like that. I've been recently talking with some people and they're going, worried, concerned about the seed and things like that they can get for their garden. And the seed companies, they're coming back into the stores. You'll be finding them now that Christmas is over and spring will be here before we really know it. The seed packs and all the seed starting kits are coming in. And you're not going to find out there on the shelves to have a concern of GMO seed. It's not available for homeowner use. It's not there. I think even if you were trying to grow grains, and most people aren't going to try to do that in a regular home area, that's the most of the products that are GMO'd within the nation, or the grain products, the cereal grains and things like that. Yes, there are some corn and soybean, but not the ones that are done for human consumption. Not for your sweet corn, not for your edamame, however you pronounce soybeans, right. For your own use. Those you're going to find, and that the easy way to make sure you're getting good ones of those is go to the health food store and buy yourself a 1/4 pound of soybean fresh and go home and plant them. They'll grow. There you go. That's the cheapest way you can probably buy them is doing it that way. Or to buy enough that you want to plant a bunch of them.
What do you do with them, though, once you have them? Yeah.
You can toast them. They're yummy. You can just saute them up and eat them as a vegetable.
Can you make soy sauce out of them?
You'd be doing a lot, again, you'd be going into a commercial type process because soy sauce has got a lot more in it than just soybean.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's got anchovies and different stuff in it.
Anchovies?
The salty flavor. And
you're kidding. I love
Worcestershires got anchovies.
I love soy sauce.
But
I never knew I was eating anchovy juice.
Yeah, they do ground up fishies. I think it's got anchovies, but they do it all different ways. And a lot of people would probably say that that's probably not the best stuff.
I may never have that.
The amount of salt in it and those kind of things, the commercially processed. And I don't know how you would make it at home because being able to buy, grow enough in a scale. But thinking back on that, yes, you're going to find hybrid seed. And most people understand that the reason hybrids came about was in order to, and they were bred. They were just, they were from the characteristics of this plant, will cross-pollinate these together and take the seed from that because of the good characteristics and disease, generally disease resistance, some pest resistance.
But is a hybrid the same as genetically modified?
Not really. I mean, it is, but it isn't.
Seems like
it's one of those. It's one of those things that you say because it's something that can occur naturally, where genetically modified is taking from two plants that may not be related and crossing. That's where, and taking
something microscopic is involved.
Very microscopic onto the DNA and the gene level, where a hybrid is taking characteristics, and it does generally take a course of years in order to be able to do this, to get a consistency that comes out every time that you buy this specific, just as an example, pepper that is resistant to 3 different strains of a virus that took years to breed that, to keep crossing and cross-pollinating, growing that seed out and then crossing that back, and doing that. So, I mean, but those are there, and people, many times will, even if they wish to grow organically, especially, will go with the hybrids because of the resistance, and you're not adding in any chemicals. Your heirlooms, on the other hand, are just an open pollinated, the seeds you can save year after year, and you just do not have any proven disease resistance. So you may work a little harder to get.
And you have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning. GMO, it's also transspecies. I mean, it's not just different plants, but sometimes plants with animals.
No, that's not.
DNA.
That's not been done.
They have put a fish oil, fish DNA from plants.
No, I'm sorry, they haven't.
Well, I have researched they have, and not to mention pesticides.
Yes, the pesticide, it makes a resistance. They don't put the actual pesticide. BT is a bacterium. It's not a pesticide, but a bacterium that is naturally occurring. And yes, they have made BT resistant or BT corn, that I do know, but they're not taking stuff from fish or pigs or other things and putting it into anything. They may experiment with it. It's not something that's come through.
I read the research and experiment that they have done that to prevent freezing.
And it's not something that has gone on. I've read it too. I've read the other side of it.
Also, do not get activated until you put this other chemical on them. They by Monsanto's and brand chemical.
Take a read on some of the stuff put together through the university, not just stuff that is fully against GMO, but really do the research on both sides. And you may learn a little bit more. It may never change your mind, but then again, what you're doing is not going to change mine either. It's because I know where I'm sitting, and I'm not necessarily for the GMO.
The research that showed that generation or two down from that being fed with GMO products become sterile. And that's where you can also read that research.
And I'll look. Can you give me where it's at?
Oh, darn. Right off the bat, no, I don't have it at my fingertip, but I have research from the reputable. I'm not talking,
do you know how many years? Do you know how many years it takes before it can even be released? And most of that stuff probably has not even been released to the market. There's very few specific crops. Like I said, the food things that you're buying as seed is not GMO. Yes, a lot of the grain products are, and they have been on the market for many, many, many years, but it's restricted. It's not something that's going necessarily to Joe homeowner who's going to grow some ryegrass seed for his front yard. It's a whole different type thing. It's not something evil in order to control the food crops of the world. I know people are not, and I'm not a fan of the GMO.
The world, India and other countries and Europe and
have more food now.
GMO for a reason. So, they're scientists.
Yeah, it's also because of people with if you get enough people to say you can't do this, they're going to change their mind and not do it. Nobody cared about body cameras on police officers until there becomes an issue. Now we want it, and now we're going to pay for it. It depends. I really don't want to get into the politics of it. Just knowing if you don't want to consume GMOs, don't consume commercially processed foods.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Grow your own.
Anyways. Good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
I'll call you up maybe another time and let you know
Sure.
what sites.
Wow.
Yeah,
Fascinating topic, though, right?
It can be, and there are some issues, but it's kind of funny how a lot of the research I read also comes from those same countries. He says that's banned them. They may have banned some of it, but they're also doing the same research, and it's not in everything.
Well, I just real quickly looked, and I can see both sides already. I can see your side, I can see his side, but the one thing that I thought was the best part, pork DNA mixed with potatoes. Now, I know you say they don't do this, but it might be tasty.
Well, there you got bacon and potatoes all together.
It might work.
No, there was one crop, and it was with potatoes that they did years ago that they found out before it was ever fed to anyone that it did not work. It did end up becoming a toxic substance instead. People say BT is a pesticide. Yes, it is. It's Bacillus thuringiensis. Look it up. It's a bacterium that's a naturally occurring bacterium. It is generally target specific on what it will kill. That's why people use it to control caterpillars. It's a larvicide in most instances. It is one that you can buy mosquito dunks to throw in those retention ponds where your mosquitoes are breeding through in order to control the mosquito population. Any squirrel, bird, cat, dog, horse can drink from that, and it's not going to hurt them. The only thing that might hurt them would be other issues in that if somebody's dumping other stuff in it. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the thought of spraying herbicides across fields. That's where my issue comes in with the use of GMOs, is that blanket use of herbicides as in glyphosate or 2,4-D and those kind of issues. Right. But when it's the kind of thing that if they can find out that this plant is totally resistant to a disease that's damaging to a prevalent crop that may be necessary around maybe around the world or whatever, dealing with the current climates that we have, and you can use part of that DNA to trigger this other plant to be resistant to those diseases. Right. Also, that means you're not having to spray more disease control. I'm not for the weed control. You can control weeds in another way because there are now herbicide-resistant weeds out there. So now you got to change it.
Take a little break. Yeah. We'll be right back. If you want to call Carol Ann, the number is 622-9622, the area code 352. So 352-622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Periods of clouds and sun today with a shower and thunderstorm or two in the area, mainly this afternoon. The highs in the 70s to near 80. Mostly cloudy tonight with a passing shower, lows in the upper 50s to mid 60s. For tomorrow, clouds and limited sun, highs ranging from the upper 60s to the mid 70s. And for Thursday, New Year's Day, pleasant with clouds and sun and a high in the 70s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Real estate is the largest and most personal investment that any of us will ever make. Be sure to tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. when Bob Kennedy, owner of Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty, will be answering your questions and discussing real estate. So remember, that's Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Call 622-9622 with your questions. It pays to be an informed buyer or seller. This is news you can use from Berkshire Hathaway Home Team Realty and your friends here at WOCA.
The 5 reasons you should shop at Honey Baked Ham this Christmas.
1. Handcrafted, not mass-produced. No one can resist sweet, crunchy glazed ham.
2. Home-style sides that are as tempting as they are easy.
3. Honey-baked desserts, sweet, yummy, and oh so good.
4. Holiday platters for easy entertaining for family or friends or employees.
5. Gourmet condiments to treat anybody's taste buds.
So why choose anything else? I can't think of a single reason.
Honey Baked Ham, the world's best ham. So get ready to pass your plate.
Happy holidays from Honey Baked Ham.
Located right behind Best Buy, 861-0011.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
from all of us at WOCA.
Think unique gifts are hard to find? If so, you haven't been to Downtown Jewelry and Pawn in Bellevue. Frank has something for everyone. Antiques, costume jewelry, diamonds, gold, watches, fine china, art deco pieces, and so much more. Located at 5445 Southeast 111th Street in Bellevue, behind Checkers, a trip to Frank's Downtown Jewelry and Pawn is a must. A little elf told me that the big guy shops there. You should too. And Frank does great repairs.
This is Austin Tavern reminding you to stay in contact with us at WOCA. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Voice of Ocala. Make sure to become a friend of our Facebook page and call us at 622-9622.
You're listening to WOCA, Ocala.
All right, 10 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carolyn Baldwin is here. Your questions are an important part of the show, and I love that controversial moment you had with the listener. I don't know. I mean, when I looked it up, I found some people who say exactly what he's saying, some people who dispute what he's saying, same as you're doing, so I don't know.
So, I mean, I'll try to get because I didn't bring anything in to really get on a discussion of it today, and maybe after the first of the year, I'll try to get my research back portions of it together. If somebody else wants to, I'll try to make sure that we've got a day. I'll give a week in advance or something like that. But I've made a conscious effort, or I'm trying to here recently because of it. Of hearing people, but here over the holidays, just as one item, I just showed you a picture because I'm going to try to collect them on my phone. I'll share the information with people. Anybody familiar with the silk products? It's a soy-based. Everybody says, the soybean in the United States is all GMO. And what's the photograph I showed you? But non-GMO project verified. So you go to nongmoproject.org. There's their website. That it's right there on their label.
So if it's an issue to you, you can find alternatives.
You can find alternatives somewhat. The other item was a seed rack in the store that says right on it, "We are non-GMO," and it actually explains. GMO or genetically modified organisms or seeds or plant whose DNA have been artificially altered in a laboratory and are not available to home gardeners. So it's when you're buying your seed to plant your garden, those kind of things. And, I'm looking for it to, I'm keeping an eye out. And it is, it is something of a discussion, and there's a whole lot of things out there that people do either as poor stewards of our environment or of our, here in Florida, we have to watch our groundwater mostly, and a lot of it is just simply education.
Right.
The whole thing of banning items where it's not been fully brought out of whether or not it truly is an issue on things is something I don't like to go for, because they do that in part of this state that certain times of year you can't buy fertilizer
right.
for your lawn, for your garden, for anything else. Legally, you can't buy it if it's got a nitrogen content.
Really?
It's one of those things of going, why can we not try to do this in a manner of education? In a thing, it's just saying, no, you can't have it, because it's not stopping anybody from having it. They just get it in another way, and then they put it down basically illegally. So if you ban and take away everything, I was just looking at something with the papayas. I hope nobody's a big papaya eater who's, it took from 1985 to 1999 to have widespread commercial planting from beginning with an effort to develop a GM papaya. And then 89, the transformation began, and in 99, widespread commercial planting occurred.
Does that mean we had no papaya before then?
No, but the papayas were having issues.
Oh, they had a virus.
They were
or something?
virus resistant, which would have done quite a bit. But that's viral diseases.
A virus that would have hurt us, or just them?
It would have destroyed the crop.
Them, okay.
The crop,
The plants.
Specialty crop, very small acreage, viral disease, infrequent in the diet, and it's in Hawaii. Plums, they've also done specialty crop, small acreage, viral disease is what it was done for, infrequent in the diet, grown California in the United States. Citrus, they are working on. Specialty crop, large acreage, bacterial disease, frequent in the diet, Florida and California. Actually, it runs from Florida all the way across to California is where the virus comes from. But just timeline, I would have to do a little more on this. This is actually a document looking at where people. Let me see if I can get you to the beginning of the page. It's 44 pages long, and this was talking about genetically modified citrus, mechanisms for release, problem element management strategies, and things like that, and what some of the issues have been doing, whether or not programs to develop or prevent where they can go from there, because so far, it's going to take years. It's not something that's going to come about tomorrow.
This is the first time science has messed with seeds. I have a story to tell you. And the story will lead to a question.
Okay.
And the question will win somebody a $20 gift certificate to Bob Wine's
Community Gardens
and Nursery. So here's the story. One time, I was with Robin. This was during the days when we were doing oil paintings to raise money for the Literacy Council.
Right.
And we were at a state park here in Florida. Mm-hmm. I'm leading to the question here.
All right.
And there was a guide there, like a park ranger, and he asked Robin if she had seen the Pinus tater. The what? The Pinus tater.
The Pinus
The
tater.
Pinus tater is I'm looking at the loblolly pine tree.
Okay.
Okay, so no, where is it? Well, it's in the back. The Pinus tater is in the back. It was grown from a seed that was taken to the moon by the astronauts on Apollo 14.
Cool.
And then it was planted, and my question that'll win you the $20 gift certificate is, what city is this in? Or the name of the park, maybe.
Okay.
Either the name of the state park or the name of the city here in Florida. And I'll tell you this, it's north of here, so you can just forget everything south of Ocala. It's north of here, and this is where the Pinus tater is growing, and you can see it for yourself. We saw it. It just looks like a normal pine tree to me.
Right.
But apparently they took the seeds up to the moon, and they thought, well, let's see if it does anything to the seeds at all, and I don't think it did anything.
Right. They're just looking to see whether or not the lack of gravity and the G-forces.
So let's see. It was part of the project in January of 1971. The seed was planted in this state park, April 29th of 1978. It's now a full-blown
That's
pine
a big tree by now.
Yeah,
right,
full-blown pine tree. So just tell me where it is, and you'll get $20 to Bob Wine's Community Gardens and Nursery.
There you go.
You got 2.5 minutes to look it up on Google.
On Google, right. And see whether or not, give somebody a chance. Is it
Where is
coastal? You said it's above.
It's north of here. It is inland. It's not coastal.
Okay.
I think. It's the Apollo 14 moon tree is what they're calling it.
Apollo 14, that's pretty neat.
The Apollo 14 moon tree, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking it up. I'm looking at just my other
well, you can look it up.
No, all I have to do is look when you do.
And also, it says here that moon trees are trees grown from 500 seeds taken into orbit. So I guess they had more than one seed, obviously.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they had to.
And maybe there's
just
more than one moon
went.
tree, but this is the one.
But this is the one that's here in this place.
Yeah.
Well, because how many of them possibly did not germinate just because you're never sure, what's germination
Whether you go to the moon with the seed or not.
Right. And, just germination rates.
But did any of those astronauts have children after that? I mean, wouldn't their seed...
their germination rate be... something to be looked
weren't they
at.
Experimenting with their own selves? But I guess everything worked out okay.
They would be. Yeah, they would be.
Well, now see, if a child had been born with some kind of deformity, they would have blamed it on that. Oh, I went to the moon. That's what happened.
And they would probably look at that as well.
Okay, now this is biological.
Right.
Don't men produce sperm, whereas aren't women like born with all the eggs and then they... Little by little,
produced.
really. See, I'm always confused by that. I think when I went to school,
It's all
things
produced,
were
yeah,
different.
yeah.
So you have new eggs as you get older.
Right.
Just like a
Until
chicken.
you stop,
a chicken isn't born with all of its eggs inside. They would never fit.
Right. It's all born within the thought of it, though.
The thought.
That's
pretty deep.
It's a higher power. Yeah, and you've been pre-programmed.
All right, anybody want to answer this question? It's a city that starts with the letter P. And the city's name is the same name as a popular swimming instructor in Ocala. From years gone by.
Go.
Does that help you?
There you go.
Does that help you? Oh, we're out of time. You got 40 seconds if you want to try this. 622-9622. What city is the Apollo 14 moon tree located in? Good morning, do you know?
It's got to be Perry.
It is Perry.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it's at
Perry.
It's at the Forest Capitol Museum State Park.
There you go.
Is this Kathy?
No.
Kathy, is that you? Who are you?
Yes.
You got it. It'll be waiting for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Caroline, thank you.
Thanks, Larry. Happy New Year, everybody.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Rescuers are pulling bodies from the Java Sea, the presumed crash site of the AirAsia plane which went missing on Sunday.
Ships are now steaming towards the crash site, and the U.S. Navy ship USS Sampson has now joined the recovery effort. It's equipped with sonar devices that can scan underwater.
Fox's David Piper. Chicago seeing its crime rate drop by 12% since last year.
Chicago Police Superintendent Gary McCarthy says,
"We're doing it by arresting the right people, not by arresting everybody. And we're doing it in a different fashion. It's not offending the community and getting more cooperation as a result."
McCarthy says Chicago's on track to have the lowest number of homicides in nearly 50 years.
Fox Radio's Karen McHugh. And no, her name's not Goldilocks, but a woman in Pennsylvania jailed on charges. She broke into a stranger's home after a night of drinking and was found by police in bed. Fox News. We report, you decide.
How would you like to have customized professional business cards that give you the confidence you need for every new business opportunity without needing any design experience? With Vistaprint, you can, because Vistaprint makes it so simple for business owners and business dreamers to get the customized tools they need to help their business thrive. And right now, you can get 500 high-quality professional business cards for just $9.99. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Go to Vistaprint.com today and enter promo code 3366 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 3366.
I'm Chris Wald. Since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds. I'm sleeping better. My knee pains went away. I've had some lower back issues, and I've noticed that went away. The radio ad, does it attacks belly fat? Well, let me tell you, it did. I've lost 6 inches.
So guys, if you'd like to get similar results, try Andro 400, the safe, inexpensive way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
Today in Florida Ag News, I'm a Southeast AgNet. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack is proud of the work USDA did in 2014, telling Southeast AgNet that he felt 2014 was a successful year for the agency.
You know, one of the things that I challenge our team at our rural development, which is an important component to supporting our farmers and ranchers, because so many of them have off-farm income needs. I like the idea that our rural development mission area leveraged $6.5 billion additional dollars. In other words, we used our dollars to encourage the private sector to match. So that's how we could do 146,000 home loans, how we could help over 1,300 community facility projects, hospitals, schools, fire stations, and police stations. We continue to work on the broadband expansion in the 1,300 projects that we've funded since I've been secretary. So a lot of activity going on in so many different places within USDA.
Some of the accomplishments he said his agency had for the year also included leading what was called the most successful Farm Bill implementation. He said USDA also achieved a record $152.5 billion in farm and ranch exports that supported 1 million jobs here at home and launched new initiatives that take public-private partnership to the next level in rural America. Vilsack said many of those efforts will continue in 2015.
We still have some Farm Bill implementation to do. We'll be continuing that effort, but absolutely, we're hopeful to be able to continue this good work that's so vitally important to rural America.
Vilsack said USDA also served more than 187 million summer meals to low-income kids and filed 109 patent applications for innovative products and techniques developed by USDA researchers. He said this truly has been a year of action, partnership, and innovation at USDA. Today's report was brought to you in part by your Beef Checkoff. Got to know how your checkoff helps build consumer demand at mybeefcheckoff.com. Randall Wiseman, Southeast AgNet.
Ooh, a xylophone. Sounds dreamy.
Yeah, they don't make them like this anymore, Robin. I'm shipping it to the Musical Historical Society.
And you're packing it like that?
What, this won't work?
Why don't you take it to the Personal Service Center at the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street in Ocala? Just look for the yellow signs.
Great idea. That'll save me a lot of time.
The passing of time.
Personal Service Center makes sending packages easy.
And quick. Call 789-6683.
For the Personal Service Center.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Ocala's information station, 1370.